We live in Brooklyn, baby. We live in Brooklyn, baby.
Welcome, everybody. This is Insanity Check. What's today's date? Today's the 1st?
Yeah, it's the 1st.
May 1st, man, 2013.
Maybe May. Maybe we'll make it out. Maybe we won't.
That's right, man. I'm Skillosaurus. That's Ken.
Stand over there.
And there it is. So, Ken, anything interesting happened to this week?
To me?
No, in general, man. I mean,
Oh.
there's some things to talk about. It was one, but what's the most interesting thing that happened this week, in your opinion?
Well, contextually, since we are doing a show here, I suppose what I heard being talked about and screamed about by certain individuals, basically a gentleman, a basketball player, who officially, technically, is the first active pro athlete in any of the 4 major sports in the United States to come out of the proverbial closet and announce to everyone that he is a homosexual. He's being cheered, applauded.
Very brave.
Everyone from fucking,
The Obamas
to, the anonymous gay community is like,
football players, other
yeah.
athletes, coming on and commending him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I had
So first of all, before we start, we agree that for anyone in this society today to come out of the closet, particularly to his family, his friends, close coworkers, people who know him, is a serious and, arduous, probably painful, something that they probably have to, go over in their minds, dozens and dozens of times. They risk losing all of the people, or at least, a portion of the people, that we just mentioned. So it's no joke. It's no bullshit.
It's commendable.
Personally speaking, our issue here, where we differ from Obama and the rest of the fucking, sheeple, is that this isn't such a big fucking deal professionally.
Professionally, it's not such a big deal. And I also, because I got into a huge debate with a friend of mine who happens to be gay, and he was like, yo, man, this is fantastic and stuff like that. I'm like, well, other athletes have come out before, but he's like, yeah, but they were retired. So this is the first active, and there's that word again, that active or eligible for free agency or whatever it is. And we went back and forth. And I'm like, well, I understand that this guy, chose to come out at this particular time, and kudos to him. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a huge burden off of his shoulders, and no one should have to live, in a better world, should have to live, hiding anything like that. Who you decide to spend your personal time with. But my problem is, the dude is 34. Okay, he's 34 years of age. He was basically his career stats was something like 3 points and 3 rebounds or something horrible. I mean, the guy was basically a bum as a player. He was a bum, nondescript player. He was not a high quality player, not as a person or anything like that, but just as a player. So you're 34 years of age, and you've been a bum even when you were 24. Or 22. So now you're just an older version of your bummier self, but you're still eligible or active. I'm like, well, he's not on an active roster. He is not under contract, and more than likely, before all of this stuff broke, I don't think he would have been under contract, because why would you want to get an old, worthless basketball player? I mean, they usually, when you are allowed in basketball to play into your 30s, you were once great, and maybe now you're just a little good. You understand? You might, your productivity from what you used to be at your apex was now, diminished, but you're still better than, let's say, some better than a guy like this that, just can't play. But this guy was terrible as a player all along. So I'm going back and forth about this eligible and active thing, and and he said, well, the reason he didn't come out sooner was because he didn't want to prove a distraction to his team, and that's the whole thing with sports. You don't want to be a distraction.
Distraction, by the way, the catchphrase of choice for the past 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Anything that they ask you that has nothing to do with the game is a distraction, which is as if people don't have any other kind of lives.
Not to mention they can't focus on shit, especially when you're being paid fucking millions of dollars to do it.
Exactly. So he chose that. So I was like, well, okay, he could have chosen when he was still, I guess, somewhat of a commodity or whatever. He could have, any of the previous 12 seasons during the off season, he could have come out if he didn't want to be the distraction because, during the season or whatever. Well, you're in between seasons. I think he chose to do it now, and this is my personal opinion, because he probably realized that, A, he probably wouldn't have been picked up anyway, and now was a safe time to say it. And to the flip side of that, I think he probably will, and I thought about this overnight, he probably will get picked up just for political correctness.
No, yeah.
Just for political correctness.
Now, officially, I read about this because I heard, whispers or whatever. I was, it was in my periphery that this dude came out. First, again, professional athlete in the major sports. But when I heard his name, I'm like, okay, I don't know this dude. And then Skillet tells me that, no, and then I read that he's a 12-year veteran, and my first thought was, oh, this dude's career is over. He's a bum, and he must be a bum, because I've never heard, not even a whisper of familiarity to me in his name. And then he tells me that this dude's averaging like 3 points a game for his career. I'm like, okay, this dude is a bum. He was played on 2 teams this past season, not 1 but 2, because one of the teams obviously didn't think he was worth shit and chucked him.
Yeah.
And this is before they even knew he was gay.
Yeah.
You're just a bum.
You're just a bum. And that's what I said. You're just a bum. So then the next team picks him up and then doesn't renew him.
Right. So now, and I'll just say this officially, I'm just responding to what you just said, your personal beliefs why he came out. According to him, he decided to come out because of the Boston bombings. He said that the Boston Marathon attack kind of shot off sparks in his brain, like, wow, at any moment, this could all be over, which we all knew that before the Boston bombings, but whatever. So he said, instead of, going out or whatever, or carrying his burden until he's dead, whenever that may come, he decides, you know what, I'm going to do this, and basically live my life how I want to live it while my days are here. Again, that's fine and dandy. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But this hoopla, this big jump for or the president to come out, I'm like, oh, congrats. Yeah, you're supposed to, again, just like the Boston bombings. People get killed every day. No one's making fucking...
What? You want to say something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't want to cut you guys off.
Right.
But I think he's smart. You know why he did that? Because he know he's not shit, and he know he's not going to get signed. So now if he doesn't get signed, they're going to say, oh, because he's gay. And now the NBA is going to feel obligated to at least give him another year.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's probably going to get another year.
So congrats to you, gay guy that ain't shit.
No, really, seriously. I literally thought about that last night. I was like, this guy, me and my friend kept going back and forth about, but he's still eligible. He's active. I'm like, look, the guy is worthless as a basketball player. He's worthless. And then I went on to mention somebody that I do want to talk about briefly is T.O. But I went to mention Terrell Owens, who is not retired. Chad Dawson, Chad Johnson, who's not retired, and a couple other Vince Young, Dante Culpepper. All these guys that are not officially retired, but no one wants them. So just because you deem yourself eligible, or yes, I am still active and I want to play, has nothing to do with you actually playing. And at 34, getting dropped off of 2 teams, there's no reason outside of him now coming out and becoming like a poster boy for, a forward-thinking people. It shouldn't even be forward-thinking. It should just be correct-thinking people. But, now he pretty much promoted himself into a position to where, some team, probably a lesser team, will pick him, like the Wizards or whatever. Some bum ass squad will pick him. Because it'll sell tickets. People will want to see. But on the flip side, I just think that all of this stuff is still a disservice to, in a sense, the people that have come out before him, just because they were officially retired, because they knew it was over, and they waited a few years rather than a few months or whatever to say it. But it's like those people never came out. The dude on the Vikings, the dude on the 49ers. There was a couple of basketball players in 2007 that years past it came out. So it's like they didn't do anything. To me, I say the number one person that I think of when it comes to athletes that I know was Martina Navratilova, because she came out, and that true, it's not a team sport, and it's an international sport, but she came out, I believe she was like 23 or 24, somewhere around that, and she had not even reached her prime yet. And she came out and put it all out there, lost every endorsement she had, and still went on to dominate women's tennis for the next 20 years or something like that. So for me, I thought that was like something like, wow, but, heaping all this praise on this dude, it just seems to be just what those other guys did, except they just realized that, hey, I'm a bum, so I'm going to retire, rather than saying I'm still eligible 4 or 5 years down the line. I can always come back. But
there's a flip side to this that I want to talk about. We're going to hit this in second segment. Part 2 of, Whoopi is gay. Coming at you 2 minutes. Be back.